Bahnhof, located in the city of Mainz in the German state of Rhineland-Palatinate. The original station in Mainz dates back to 1859, although this current station was opened in 1884 and designed by Philipp Johann Berdeley as part of city expansion plans. Today, over 60,000 commuters and tourists pass through this station daily, making it by far the busiest station in the region. There's a missing route map over there. Let's fix it while you're here. There are more tasks to discover. Be sure to apply route maps, restock first aid points, put up tourist posters and set the cuckoo clocks. Wait on the platform. Your train will arrive shortly. Your train has arrived. Let's climb aboard. Take a seat. The train will be departing shortly. The West Rhine Railway dates back to the earliest days of rail transport in Germany, with the first section opening in 1844. It reached Mainz in 1859 and the line was electrified 100 years later in 1959. The Mäuseturm, or Mouse Tower, found on this route has origins dating back to the Roman age, although it gained its legend and nickname after the restoration in the 10th century by the Archbishop Hatto II. It has served many different functions through the centuries, such as signal tower, toll collection, and a customs collection tower. The route to Koblenz is approximately 85 kilometers through the scenic and meandering Rhine Gorge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This train is powered by a DB BR103.1 electric locomotive. It's capable of speeds of up to 265 kilometers per hour and is one of the most powerful electric locomotives ever built. On this route, you'll learn to operate this locomotive, the DB-BR110, and the N-Wagens cab car as you ferry commuters, tourists and freight past the picturesque castles and vineyards on the bank of the Rhine. This is Trainsim World, Link Rheinstrecke, Mainz to Koblenz. In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive this BR103.1 electric locomotive.
When you're ready to begin, climb aboard. Sit in the driver's seat. For this introduction, you'll be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. This locomotive requires the reverser handle to be inserted before operation. Set the reverser to the neutral setting while we take over this cab. Set the headlights to indicate that this train is operational. Unlock the brakes with the brake key to allow braking to be controlled from this cab. This locomotive has two types of brakes. You'll be using the driver's brake, which controls brakes on the entire formation. If you were running as a light locomotive, you would use the direct brake, which is quicker to apply but only performs braking on the locomotive. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. Close the doors before departure. The reverser controls the direction of travel. Now we're ready to depart. Set it to the forward position.
For faster acceleration, the transformer switch can be used. This supplies the traction motors with an additional 100 volts each, increasing power output. To avoid damage to the locomotive, it should not be used for more than 2 minutes or on trains with more than 8 coaches. If too much power is applied, the MCB may trip. If this happens, set the tap changer to 0 and close the MCB to recover the locomotive.
Release the brakes and depart the station. The large wheel in the centre of the desk is the tap changer, which controls power delivery in the locomotive. Set the tap changer to the power index you need and the traction motors will gradually apply the set power. The currently selected tap is shown on the dashboard. Start braking, the tap changer needs to be set back to 0. If you do not, braking will cause a traction lockout.
The first DB BR103.1 entered service in 1970. It was designed for DB's new intercity system, so had to be capable of pulling a 400-ton train at 200 km per hour. These initial intercity services were first class only. Second class carriages were added later in 1979 and resulted in a large increase in popularity and demand. The addition of second class coaches increased the weight of the trains to over 600 tons on already challenging routes. The BR103.1 proved capable though, as its power output of 7,440 kilowatts, 9,980 horsepower, makes it one of the most powerful electric locomotives ever produced. 4 prototype and 145 production BR103s were produced, and until 1987 it had a near monopoly on fast passenger services with speeds above 160 km per hour in Germany. It was not uncommon for individual locomotives to cover in excess of 1,000 kilometers a day. In 1985, a BR103 set a new speed record for a German train, reaching 283 km per hour, that's 176 miles per hour.
you're approaching the station, begin applying a small amount of braking force using the driver's brake valve to bring the train to a gentle stop. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train. Welcome to Bromsgrove, located in Worcestershire in the West Midlands of England. This station originally opened in 1840 as part of the Birmingham-Gloucester Railway, although it was rebuilt in 1969 and then again in 2016. Shortly after, in 2018, electrification work was completed and this station became a southern terminus for Birmingham's cross-city line. There's a missing route map over there. Let's fix it while you're here. There are more tasks to discover. Be sure to apply route maps, refill the planters, sample the chocolate, and dress the bears. Wait on the platform. Your train will arrive shortly. The Cross-City Line is a consolidation of different lines built between 1837 and 1885. The oldest section of this line is Duddeston, originally Vauxhall, to Aston, where it was part of the Grand Junction Railway. In the 1970s, work began to join services from the north and south of Birmingham into one line to better serve the city. This involved building a new station at the University of Birmingham and reopening Five-Way Station, which had been closed since 1944. Work was completed in 1978 at a cost of £7.4 million, and the Cross-City Line was born. This section, known as Lickey Incline, is the steepest sustained mainline railway incline in Great Britain. It runs for 2 miles at an average gradient of 2.65%. When it first opened, extra banking locomotives would be needed for the climb. Today, all but the heaviest of freight trains can make the climb unassisted. In Birmingham Cross City, you can climb onto one of the most unique modern trains in Britain, delve into dense commuter operations, and explore West Midlands territory, including the famed Lickey Incline. This is TrainSim World, Birmingham Cross City. In this training module, you'll be taken through the operation of a Class 323 EMU. During this brief introduction, we will go through the critical driving and passenger operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started. Take a seat in the driver's position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. To unlock the control desk, insert the master key and set it to on. Now let's get moving. Set the reverser to forward. The train features a combined power and brake controller. Pull the lever towards you to release brakes and get moving. Travel around the circuit and make your way to the next stop where we will practice passenger operations. The British Rail Class 323 is an electric multiple unit passenger train designed by Hunter ADL. 43 train sets were constructed between 1992 and 1995, 26 of which went into operation on the Birmingham Cross City line. These units are known for their distinctive gear change whine when accelerating and braking. This is caused by a gate turn-off thyristor-based inverter. We're now approaching the platform. Apply a small amount of brake force to come to a gentle stop. In normal operation, passenger doors are controlled by the train guard. In this training tutorial, you will operate the doors. Now close the doors. Make your way to the next platform in the circuit unguided. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
In this training module, you will be taken through the operation of this Class 66 locomotive. During this brief introduction, you will be covering the critical driving controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started. You need to insert the reverser first, and then you can move it forwards to set the direction of travel. Set the headlights to let others around us know this train is operational. The direct brake has 3 positions: apply, hold and release. They're directly affecting the brake cylinder pressure, shown on the left-hand side of the desk or on your HUD under the BC entry. While in the apply state, the brake cylinder or BC gauge will fill, meaning more and more brakes are being applied. Move the handle to the hold position to maintain the same level of braking, and back to the release position to reduce or completely release the brakes. The direct brake is used to apply the brakes only on your locomotive and are faster to apply and release than the main brakes. If you're only running as a light locomotive, as you are now, it's usually quicker to just use these brakes. Now, the brakes on this train require us to hold the brake handle in the release position. You can monitor the state of the brakes using the larger brake pipe control gauge in the centre. Now keep the brake control in release until you can see the brake pipe control needles are reading 5 bar pointing upwards. This will release the brakes fully. Now that the brake pipe control is at 5 bar, the brakes will fully release. Watch the brake cylinder or BC gauge to see it gradually reduce to 0, which tells you that the brakes are now fully released and you can move the train. As you apply power, notice the amp bar rising. This is the amount of power being fed into the traction motors. But try to keep this out of the red, as it means you're overpowering the motors and could damage them. Coasting is a method used to officially maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Built in London, Ontario, Canada by EMD, the British Rail Class 66 is a 6-axle diesel-electric locomotive, used primarily for freight operations in the UK. Introduced in 1998, the initial order of 250 locomotives was said to be the biggest single order of a locomotive since the era of steam trains. More than 500 Class 66 locomotives were built, with the final one being delivered in 2016. The Class 66 has earned the nickname Shed because of its shed-like pitched roof. OK, come to a stop using the direct brake now. The freight wagons are behind us, so change direction with the reverser, then change the junction indicated, either by walking over to it or using the map. The junction is correctly aligned, so you can now couple up to the freight. Approach slowly and stop just before the buffers. Don't forget to release the direct brake before you apply power. You can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. So let's connect the formation using the external camera. Access the external camera. Now couple the locomotive to the freight wagons. Return to the first-person camera. Nice work! Change direction with the reverser and move the train forward into the indicated siding. Remember, you can couple and uncouple from either an external camera or on foot. So let's uncouple from the wagons on foot this time. That concludes this training module. Welcome to Ashford International, located in Kent in the southeast of England. Situated directly between London and the Strait of Dover, Kent has always been an important link between the capital city, the coast and mainland Europe. Today, HS1, previously known as the Channel Tunnel Rail Link, provides an essential high-speed connection through this historic county for both domestic and international travellers. There's a missing route map over there. Fix this while you're here. There are lots more tasks to discover throughout this route. Make sure to apply all the route maps, place newspaper bundles, patch holes in the fences and place safety signs. Your train has arrived. Let's climb aboard. This train is the British Rail Class 395 Javelin, manufactured by Hitachi. Go on, sit down in any available seat. Ashford Station originally opened in 1842, although it has gone through two significant rebuilds since then. First to provide electrification, and then again to facilitate international travel. On a typical year, around 4 million domestic and international passengers use this station. This route runs for over 60 miles between Ashford International and London St Pancras, as well as an additional 30-mile link between Dartford and Faversham. On this route, you can experience a unique and exciting blend of classic mainline running and thrilling high-speed commuting aboard state-of-the-art motive power. This is Train Sim World, Southeastern High Speed, London to Ashford and Faversham. In this training module, you will be taken through the operation of this Class 395 Javelin. During this brief introduction, we will be covering the critical driving controls and passenger operations. Look, when you're ready, climb aboard to get started. Take a seat in the driver's seat. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. Firstly, you will need to insert the master key to activate the desk. Set the headlights to let others around you know that this train is operational. For this introduction, you will be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. Now close the doors before departure. The reverser controls the direction of travel. But before attempting to apply power with the Class 395, you should check that power is available. In the top left corner of the main part of the cab desk, you can see the line volt and MCB VCB indicators. If line volt is lit, it means it is detecting active power. If it is not lit, you must either press the CTRL button to raise the pantograph if there are wires above you, or press the DC button to lower the third rail pickups if there is a third rail underneath you. If MCB VCB is lit, it means that a power cutout switch called a circuit breaker is open, which means power is not being made available to the train. Currently, we have line volts, however, so we can move on. The train is now ready to depart. Now drive a loop of the circuit to get used to the controls. The train features a combined brake and throttle power handle, so pull the lever towards you to release the brakes and get moving. used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the power handle into the braking range. The British Rail Class 395 Javelin is a high-speed dual-voltage electrical multiple unit, capable of running on both third rail and overhead electrification. 29 Javelins were built in Japan by Hitachi between 2007 and 2009 for Channel Tunnel Rail Link, or CTRL, domestic services. The Class 395 is capable of running at 140 miles per hour under AC overhead electrification and up to 100 miles per hour on DC third rail. Approaching the station, begin applying a small amount of braking force to bring the train to a gentle stop. Nice job! The train has safely come to a stop. You can now use the door control to open the passenger doors. Good work! That concludes all of the basics of operating this train. In this training module, you'll be taken through the operation of this Class 375. During this brief introduction, we will be covering the critical driving controls and passenger operations. Look, when you're ready, climb aboard to get started. Take a seat in the driver's seat. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. Firstly, you will need to insert the master key to activate the desk. The reverser controls the direction of travel. Set the headlights to let others around you know that this train is operational. For this introduction, you will be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. Now close the doors before departure. Now drive a loop of the circuit to get used to the controls. The train features a combined brake and throttle power handle, so pull the lever towards you to release the brakes and get moving. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. The British Rail Class 375 is an electric multiple unit and is part of Bombardier's Electrostar family. 140 Class 375s were produced by Bombardier Transportation between 1999 and 2005. The Class 375 has a top speed of 100 miles per hour. You are approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force to bring the train to a gentle stop. Nice job! The train has safely come to a stop. You can now use the door control to open the passenger doors. Proceed to the next stop unguided and see how you get on. Good work! That concludes all of the basics of operating this train.